Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you virtually. My name is Peter Coffman, and I am an architectural historian. And if you've never heard of what an architectural historian is, essentially a big part of my job is I travel far and wide. I visit amazing buildings, I study them, I learn about them, I take lots of photographs of them, and then I come back and tell my students about them. And if that sounds like it's the best job in the world, it's because it is. So I'm the supervisor of the History and Theory of Architecture program. And in the History of Architecture program, we study every aspect of the built environment, how and why things get built, what they mean, how people use them, and how people interact with them. Most of our students plan to be architects, so they go on to do Masters of Architecture programs, which is what you need to do. That's the degree you ultimately need if you're going to be an accredited architect, is a master's graduate level architecture degree. So most of our students do their BA in History and Theory of Architecture and then their MArch and go on to be architects. I say most, but more and more we're getting students going into areas like heritage conservation, heritage consultation, planning, and various other professions. So there are a lot of different directions our students are going in. But of course, the people who can really tell you about the program is the students who are in the program now. And that's why Miduran is here. So I'm going to ask Miduran to step onto the virtual stage. And actually, Miduran, maybe first, if I can just get you to introduce yourself and tell us where you're at with the program.
Hey, hello everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be talking to you in front of you or digitally, virtually. So my name is Miduran and I'm in fourth year of History and Theory of Architecture. So right now I am currently as a class ambassador and as well as the president of Carleton Art History Undergraduate Society.
Great, thank you. So you're in your last year now in the program. So let me sort of rewind things a bit and ask you, what made you choose Carleton in the first place?
There's many reasons why. So one of them would be it's an enclosed campus. It's just students, and it's just like a good mix of environment and it's not in the city, which I kind of like a lot. It's like a personal reason. And then another reason why I came to Carleton is because History and Theory of Architecture is like the only program. It's a niche program, but also it's one of its only program in Canada. So, and I found it was a great opportunity to find individuality and yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting, and you're right. It is actually it's the only undergraduate program of its type in Canada, at least in the English language. So you're right; it is unique in that sense. So tell me, are you from Ottawa? I don't know if I've ever asked you that before.
I'm from Toronto, so I'm a big city kid. So coming to Ottawa is just a great way to find your voice, your individuality, and just being independent. It's far, far away from my family, so it's great.
So you didn't find the transition to Ottawa a problem? It went well.
It was a smooth transition, yeah. Yeah.
Good. I'm wondering, is it possible to single out one thing about the HTA program that you've liked best or has made the biggest impression on you? Is it possible to single out one aspect of it that makes you think, yeah, that's worked out really well for me?
Okay, I think one aspect that kind of really put confidence in why I wanted to stay in the HTA program was basically my first day at your class, the first year survey course. So after that first class, it was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was just everything I wanted and expected from the program. So after that first class in for fourth year, just basically it was very smooth. I didn't have any second looks or anything. So it was just a great program in general. So I think that first day of class was just the best moment and shaped my career as an HTA student.
Really? Wow. It makes me wish I'd asked you that question before. That's interesting. I'm glad to have that recorded. I know it's interesting that first day made such an impression on you because of course on that day I didn't know you, but I've gotten to know you subsequently. And I mean, you've got a long way from that first day. And one of the things I probably told you on that first day, because I think I say this to every group of incoming students we get. In fact, you can probably carve these words on my tombstone. And that is, a great education starts in the classroom, but it doesn't end there. And I bring that up because I know that in subsequent years, you have been especially proactive about seizing every single opportunity we've thrown at you. And we always create as many opportunities as we can for extracurricular experiences that we think, we hope will really enrich the educational experience. Some students grab them, some people don't. You did. And one of the ones I'm thinking of particularly is study abroad. So can you tell us a bit about your experience with that, what you did and what you did and what it was like?
Okay, so usually, okay, so I think my first study abroad experience was when I was in your third year experiencing architecture course, and you kind of promoted there's the Greece trip in archaeology. So they're opening up to HTA and other faculty students. So I was, let me just grasp this opportunity, because I was like, when I'm gonna get this opportunity again. So I was scared to miss on, like, FOMO, and I just wanted to get on with, like, just seeing, experiencing architecture, because, like, it's different, because, like, you want to, like, you learn it in the classroom, but then if you, like, see it in person, you understand how large this building is, and then you can understand the construction of it. And yeah, Greece was amazing. And then after Greece, I was just amazed. And then I got another opportunity of going to Venice, Italy for a fall semester. So that was 4 months long of just embracing Italian culture and architecture. So I'm excited to do more travel experience. So yeah.
Can you say a bit more about what you did in Italy?
Italy. Okay, so I studied contemporary art and Renaissance art as well. But because I have this architecture bug in me, every weekend I would go to different cities in Italy, and it was just a train ride away, so it was no problem. And I experienced Italy much as I can. Yeah.
So I remember some of your electronic postcards. You were based in Venice, which is where the course was taking place. And I remember you sending me an email with some pictures once saying, there's bad flooding in Venice, so I decided I'd better go to Florence for the weekend.
Yeah.
And for a tiny fraction of a second, I felt sorry for you, but I stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I never knew there was flooding like that, and it was just an experience, and yeah, I survived.
So you did the semester in Venice, and you studied Venetian art and architecture, and that counted towards your degree, right? They're Carleton course credits you got for that.
Mm.
And what would you say? Is it possible to summarize quickly what you got out of the experience of studying abroad? What does it do for you that sitting in my classroom, and don't worry, you've already said nice things about my classroom, so you can be honest now. What does going to somewhere like Venice or to Greece do for you that sitting in my classroom doesn't?
What doesn't? I think it's just more of like you're in that place, and you're it's just, you get more of the context and the culture and the people there, and you're kind of situated where people are interacting with the building, and then you're just like you're like an observer. You're kind of like seeing everything in action, not in a snapshot picture, and then your eyes just move around like crazy because you're just in that travel tourist mode. And you start to realize how grateful, and I'm definitely grateful now because of COVID, because if I didn't take those opportunities back then, I don't know if I would be able to go traveling in the next 2 or 3 years. So yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a really good point. Windows of opportunity open up, and they also close. And it's really important to jump through them while they're still open, because you don't know how long they'll stay open. So, I mean, that's some experiences you've had off campus, and and out of the country for that matter, as an integral part of your education. But I know you've also been really active on campus. You've done a lot of other extracurricular things. For example, there's Kaus, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
Which you're active in, and in fact, if I recall correctly, you're now the president of, right? So can you tell us a bit about that organization and what it does and what you get out of being involved with them?
Yeah. So being involved in any faculty, undergraduate faculty society, it just gives you that a connection with students. So in CAUS, we have students from art history, film, music, HDA, a lot of HDA. So I think the main reasons why I joined initially to CAUS is because I kind of wanted to know my upper years and gain advice on how to get involved with our department and kind of voice our opinion, and also kind of have that community environment. And I think especially now, digitally, it's I've been getting opinions and advice from my peers in the society, and they're really happy with having those weekly meetings, because human interaction, we kind of need it, even though we're just like, it's nice that we have the digital interface, and it's nice to have that communication aside from academic lectures and stuff. So yeah.
Can you tell us about the most recent event you had? At least I think it's the most recent event you had, the portfolio review.
Yes, we had another event after portfolio review, but I'll elaborate on the portfolio review. So a lot of our like you said in the beginning, you most HDA kids would go to after their undergraduate degree, they would go to pursue the MArch program. So what we don't have in our program is studio. So we kind of wanted to create an experience or where we have professionals in the industry, as well as professors and faculty members to help us improve on our portfolios. It was a great success. We had, it was honestly eye-opening event. And then after that event, we had our resume and CV letter of intent workshop, partnering with Carleton Career Services. So it was a great opportunity as well because of like applications for masters. So I think those kind of workshops and events are just like things that we offer, and we try to like help students as much as we can.
Yeah, I was so impressed. I know the portfolio review is something you started last year, and this year I thought, well, I guess they're not going to be able to do it because we can't get together. And you still pulled it off, and you pulled an incredible group of people together and had a remarkably successful event. And I guess I want to highlight that because, of course, we talk about, we like to talk about our program, the curriculum, the courses we offer, and we're proud of our course selection and extracurricular opportunities we offer. But in a way, that will only ever be half the picture. The other half of what really makes a program a great place to be is engaged students, and there's no substitute for that. And so, when I see the sorts of things you're doing with the undergraduate society and the sorts of initiatives, purely student-driven initiatives that you're taking and the events you're making happen, even in the face of present challenges, it's really a really satisfying thing, and it's so absolutely critical and integral to the success of the program too. So I'm glad that came out. Now, there's another extracurricular way you've been involved with the program or with the department, and that is through work, because you've actually worked at the university, right?
Yeah, I am currently employed at the AVRC, the Audiovisual Resource Center, that is on our department floor. It's I didn't really know about it in first year, but in second year, I got really involved in just like finding new opportunities. And in third year, actually, I applied for that position, and then I got that position, and I just had a strong relationship with Nancy, who is the head of the AVRC. So it was a great opportunity to apply my skills I learned in the classroom, and I'm getting paid for it. So great.
Yeah, actually, that is great. When you think, you sort of look back and you think, so you've come to university and you've done your degree,
Hmm.
but you haven't just done your degree. It's all these other things. You've actually worked for the university and gotten to know people and built relationships that way. You've been hugely involved with the student undergraduate society and launched events and got to know people and enriched the experience in that way. And of course, you studied abroad twice. So there's the degree, which everybody does, but then there's all this other stuff, all these other opportunities you grabbed on top of the degree that I suspect, and I shouldn't put words in your mouth here, but I suspect those things are really significant
Yeah.
in terms of what you got out of
Mm.
getting this education. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm just like, oh, this is all I've done. Wow, that's amazing. But I'm just realizing it now. But I think from speaking from like grade 12, I did not realize I would be at this point of having these experiences and opportunities. Like I didn't think I could have planned for that. So I think it was just basically taking it step by step and seeing those opportunities and just getting those opportunities. Like I think those are really important. And um, yeah.
And I think that's such an important thing to shine a light on, especially, you're talking to students who are considering following your path. And it's just so important to make to remind people that you walk into a place like a university and there are all these doors and you want to open up and walk through a whole bunch of those doors. You want to think broadly and really wring its neck and squeeze everything you can out of the experience. Which brings me to another question. And this is another big, broad question, which may be hard to answer, but uh, what do you think you'll take away from this degree? And by that I mean intellectually, personally. Has doing this degree changed you? And if so, is it possible to characterize how it's changed you?
Okay, there's a lot of things I could think about. I think the first thing would be like my writing skills definitely improved, and my research skills are just phenomenal at this point. It's just like being able to have that opportunity of like practicing of how to research properly, citing, and just I've become a great master of just citing and being a good Chicago footnoter. um, I think also it gives me a more global perspective of seeing how buildings change history and how history changed architecture and both relationships. Um, what else? I think another great light to shine on is the student and professor relationship. I feel like it's so easy to contact our faculty and I don't know. It's a great back and forth of communication, which is just I don't know, just a stress relief because we're always like your doors are always open and it's just a great like environment to be in, to be honest.
That's obviously nice to hear. Partly nice to hear because it goes both ways. I mean, one of the
Yeah.
great things about our job is the fact that you people just come into our, well, not this year, but in a normal year, our doors are open and you walk in and we chat about things, or you pass in the hall and chat about things, and of course meet in classes regularly and that sort of thing. And that back and forth is one of the really best things for us as well.
Mhm.
So, what's next? Where do you want this degree and this whole experience to take you, and what are your plans?
Okay. It's a great moment right now. I could actually tell you, because last year I did not know where I was going, but now I'm applying to masters right now. I do want to do more traveling. I think I'm planning to go to Brazil in 2 years, maybe. I was supposed to go past summer, but it got delayed, so I have to go in 2 years' time to build some houses in Belize. So yeah, I think those are the opportunities I'm thinking about going into.
So, when you say you're applying for masters in what?
Masters in architecture.
Oh,
HTA has provided me a great foundation because in grade 12 I have no clue what architecture was or how did it shape or the history of it. So HTA had provided me just a great set of tools to help me thrive in MARC applications. So I think it will give me an advantage of, I don't know, giving a more perspective of how to build and maybe how to conserve of architecture. So
that sounds like a great plan. And, you know, I think you're right. Going to an MArch program, students who've done a degree like HTA have a whole toolkit of skills that a lot of students going to MArch programs do not have. And that's that could prove to be an extremely useful thing. So I look forward to following your career and seeing where you go. I think that's probably good. I think we should probably pass the stage over to its rightful occupants. I guess, Trevor, do you want to?